As we gather to celebrate 35 years of service, we reflect on the journey to justice that the community law program has taken. Founded in 1989 by a group of dedicated members of the St. Petersburg Bar Association, the community law program has been a beacon of hope for undeserved communities throughout Pinellas County, Florida.
Our mission has always been clear: to provide equal access to justice for all, regardless of income.
In 1989, the St. Pete Bar Pro Bono Committee decided that in order to have an organized method of matching needs of vulnerable citizens with lawyers, we needed to form a committee and pro bono volunteers that could be called upon. That was the origin of the community law program.
It was focused exclusively on family law matter. Over the years, it pretty much stayed that way until Kimberly Rogers came in as the director. It seemed like every year the program got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It expanded into bankruptcy. It expanded into helping foster children who were aging out of the foster care system. She created just a wonderful program in landlord-tenant matters.
My name is Kimberly Rogers, and I was the executive director of community law for nearly 20 years. You know, when I was there, we had 2 part-time staff members and myself, and our services, you know, were extraordinary, but they were limited to advice clinics. And we certainly had a fair number of them, but you know, we didn't have the breadth of services that we do now. You know, I was very proud to start a number of programs that really not only expanded the scope of our services, but the, you know, the impact.
At the heart of the community law program is a commitment to justice, equity, and service.
Our mission is to empower the most vulnerable in Pinellas County by providing pro bono legal assistance, educating the community about legal rights and responsibilities, and engaging in our outreach efforts to make a real difference. One of the biggest challenges that I see the community law program facing today is something that I see our clients facing, and it's the fact that justice is not accessible.
Our mission is to empower the most vulnerable in our community.
The mission has been held very close to the chest: equal access for all in the legal system.
Our community has a huge need for the community law program. I can't imagine our community without it.
Pinellas County, population of about 960,000, has 130,000 that fall below the poverty line. And the poverty line is exceptionally low. The legal needs of this community, dealing with housing, dealing with child support, divorce proceedings, evictions, and foreclosures, have grown significantly.
The community law program was born out of a deep need for accessible legal services. Our founders, a group of visionary legal professionals, recognized that justice was often out of reach for many in our community.
They came together with a shared purpose to create an organization that would stand up for those who couldn't afford to hire an attorney.
I became involved with it back in roughly 1988, and we started trying to develop a program from scratch. The lawyers in this community have been unbelievably great about what they've done and how many people they've helped. It's probably been, you know, one of the most satisfying things from my perspective, and I know from theirs, of our professional careers, that we were able to put together something that is still here, that every day we know somebody's being helped by this program.
The cases that have been most impactful for me are the ones where we were able to provide representation so that someone could have, you know, a level playing field.
Representing people in need is probably more satisfying than anything else I can remember doing as a lawyer.
In our oath of lawyers say we can't turn away anyone who's vulnerable and in need of services for lack of ability to pay.
You know, winning a case on behalf of a client who pays you, that's certainly gratifying, but there's really nothing like helping someone when you really have no expectation for compensation. The impact that it has on their lives, to me, that's a feeling that you don't get anywhere else. in the practice of law.
I get a lot of help and I get a lot of support, and I found that it's very manageable.
It was a really great way to give back to my community and fit it into my busy work week and accomplish my goal of filling out my bar application with something more than a 0.
And it felt right to give back to the community that raised me.
Well, you took the oath. Shouldn't you give something back?
I get more out of it than I put into it.
As we celebrate this milestone, we also look forward to the next 35 years.
We envision a future where even more people in Pinellas County have access to the legal resources they need and where justice is truly accessible to all.
My vision is for community law to keep growing.
As we continue to get older, the goal is to hand the torch over to the younger generation.
I hope that it will just continue to grow. It offers such a wonderful service to the community. Just thousands of people that they've helped over the years that make, like I said, a real difference in the day-to-day lives of people who need the money that they get through our efforts.
We see a lot of need in our community that is not being met. And we see the community law program's role as trying the best we can to meet those needs.
Another 35 years from now, someone will be sitting in my chair and saying, we have stayed true to our mission to provide equal access to justice for all.
One of the greatest needs that a community law program has is our roster of volunteers.
There was always more work than we had staff for. So, it was really hard when we would have, eligible clients coming through the door and we had to turn them away because we literally, under Florida bar rules of ethics, we would not be able to service those clients well.
And I think if we had more volunteers, we could make a huge impact in our community in the perception that lawyers are only for people who can afford it.
I would encourage everybody to look into volunteering their time and talent to community law.
We need your contributions today to maintain the rule of law and for all to truly have access to justice.
Where do the people go that need help, that can't afford it or can't find it? We're there for them.
The Community Law Program's mission is made possible through the support of people like you. Whether you're an attorney, a community member, or a supporter, there are many ways to get involved.